Hello everybody, and welcome to another prediction video where today I'm going to be predicting the NFC South, the 5th division I'm going to be doing in this prediction series, and I'm going to be predicting how the season goes for all 4 teams in the division, and then I'll move on to the NFC North, NFC East, and then NFC West to finish it off before the season starts in actually a couple weeks now. First week of August is preseason, but let's get started. The first team I want to talk about is the Carolina Panthers. This team had a very interesting season last year, finishing with about 5-11 record, and were able to secure a top 10 pick in the draft, and in that draft were trading down a lot, getting a bunch of draft picks and trying to help and secure a team that'll be younger and better for next season. Last season for the Panthers was a pretty average season, as nobody on their offense was anything spectacular other than them signing Robbie Anderson from the Jets in the offseason prior. Curtis Samuel was pretty good for them. DJ Moore was good for them. Their offensive line was okay. Teddy Bridgewater was pretty good. To see him have a new role as a starter and actually play okay is really good, although they did ship him off to Denver after them acquiring Sam Darnold from the Jets as well. Now the Panthers have Sam Darnold as a quarterback and a younger, better team for them to handle. Their defense was the bright point of that young team, as players like Jeremy Chin, Brian Burns were able to show that they are good players in the NFL and definitely secure them as the young prospects that the Panthers need to improve their team and keep getting better. This team is really well-rounded, and in a few years could definitely improve and keep getting better, and next thing you know, they're a playoff team, and that is not what you want to see in the NFC South. But I think that this team is pretty good and can definitely keep getting better as time goes on, especially with now getting them Sam Darnold as their new quarterback, which Matt Rule believes in him. So that'll be really good to see if Sam Darnold is actually a good talent in the NFL, or if he was put in a bad situation and was unable to perform in that situation. I think that this team will go around 6-11. I think that they will gain one more win than they did last year and still stay in that 3rd spot in the NFC South. You're probably wondering, what's the 4th team? Well, you're probably gonna know who that is with this next team I'm gonna be talking about, the Atlanta Falcons. I think the Atlanta Falcons will have a similar season to what they had this season and will definitely not improve. I think that Matt Ryan has sort of gone past his prime of around Super 51 to 52. Those couple seasons, everything before that was really good for him, but I think Super 51 was his prime and his peak. And I think now, over the last couple seasons, especially last season, yes, he did play well, but it didn't matter. The team was not very good. And now with him losing Julio Jones to the Tennessee Titans, makes it significantly harder for me to see him having a good season statistically and actually record-wise. They did acquire Kyle Pitts in the NFL draft, picking him 4th overall, although I still think that that won't help them significantly, as there's a lot of more problems on their team, such as the defense being pretty old and not having spectacular names. AJ Terrell was one of their picks that they picked last season in 2020 draft around the middle of the 1st round, and he was an okay cornerback for them. Not great, but not terrible anyways. I think that this team, with them especially losing Julio Jones, I think that this team won't do any better than they did last year, like I said, and I think they're going to have to start the rebuild, because Matt Ryan is not going to be there in a couple seasons. He is not Matty Ice like he was before. You may disagree with me, but I just think that, what else? There's nothing else on that team that's of note. There's no good players that we've seen so far. Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones are their best players on their defense, but other than that, their defense is of no notable names. Calvin Ridley needs to somehow carry this team on his back and get all those yards that Julio Jones had and step up significantly. I predict the Atlanta Falcons to finish 4th in the NFC South, finishing with a 5-12 record. As you see, similar to last year, the Falcons and the Panthers are sort of fighting for that last spot in the NFC South, and I think that the Falcons will win that battle and finish with a 5-12 record. I don't think it's going to be any good for the Falcons or Falcons fans, as they need to deal with the root problem of choking. To be totally honest, the root problem of choking is a big problem in Atlanta, and hopefully they can have the same success as the Atlanta Hawks did and make it to the playoffs and to hopefully to the last dance or the final dance of that playoffs in the Super Bowl and make it there. The third team I want to talk about is the New Orleans Saints with their new starting quarterback Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston. I am still not sure who is actually starting on that team, but I think it'll probably be Jameis Winston, as he is a more accurate thrower and more of a quarterback than Taysom Hill. This team was very close to making it to the conference championship, although lost to their division rival Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who eventually became Super Bowl champions. This team unfortunately lost Drew Brees as he retired after almost 20 seasons in the NFL, which he deserves all the praise for that. He was a really, really good player and deserves a lot of praise and is a for sure Hall of Famer in the NFL. Their defense was really, really good, and they were able to stop teams easily and beat teams with players such as Cameron Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore. This team was very, very well rounded, and I think now with them losing their key captain on offense, their offense is going to struggle, but I think their defense is going to stay the same. They're going to need their offense to step up. Now, Michael Thomas is unfortunately injured and will miss the rest of the 2021 season, or most of it at least, with a torn ACL or Achilles, I'm not sure, but he had a really bad injury, and he will be missing the 2021 season. So I think that now this is not going to be looking good for them. I don't think they're going to do worse than the Panthers or the Falcons, as they are two teams that are just going to struggle because they don't have any weapons. This team does have weapons. They've got a really good team. Jameis Winston isn't a terrible quarterback, and I think that they, with the help of their defense that can carry them there, I think they can do pretty well. Probably not going to make the playoffs, but can do pretty average for this team and sort of have that deciding factor if they're going to start tanking or they're going to try and get more pieces to make a playoff push. I predict the New Orleans Saints to have a 9-8 record. I think they will just finish above 500, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that this team will significantly struggle compared to last season without Drew Brees, and I think that they will need to definitely go into either a rebuild or a overhaul of that QB scenario, because they need somebody that's actually good. Jameis Winston has not been good since his 2019 season. He was a pretty good backup for them, with him throwing 30 for 30 in 2019. It's not my type of thing. I still think they're going to go 9-8, and I think definitely going to need to reconsider who's that quarterback of the future. The final team I am going to be talking about is the first team in the NFC South, the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, also known as Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with Tom Brady, Ronald Jones, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Tristan Wirfs, Robert Gronkowski, Ali Marpet, Ryan Jansen. Their defense includes players like Ndamukong Suh, although I don't think he's on the team anymore. I'm not sure. Levante David, Shaquille Barrett. This team is really, 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 really good. Everybody's saying that they're going to probably be the favorite to win every single game this season, and I somewhat disagree. I think that this team, yes, will be very, very good, although I don't think they will do better than the Chiefs. I think that Tom Brady, yes, is able to definitely carry this team to the playoffs with the division title, although I think that he won't have as good as a season as last year. You're probably saying, why are you doubting him? I am a Tom Brady fan. I support Tom Brady, not as a Patriots fan, but just as a good player. He was the GOAT, I think, in the NFL. But I think that he definitely won't have as good as a season as last year. I think that this team will do pretty good, finishing with a 13-4 record. I think a bunch of teams will finish 13-4, 12-5, or 14-3. I just think that this team will definitely have a surge going into the final half of the season, but I think that their start of the season won't be that good. I think that they will definitely be a thing to be scared of in the playoffs and could definitely go for that back-to-back. I just think that statistically they're going to have a small decline and not be as good as they were last year. So my final predictions for the NFC South: in first place is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a 13-4 record. Second place is the New Orleans Saints with a 9-8 record. Third place is the Carolina Panthers with a 6-11 record. And fourth place is the Atlanta Falcons with a 15-12 record. That is my prediction for the NFC South. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you disagree with me, just say it in the comments and try to prove me wrong. I think that these are just my predictions, they're my opinions, and if you've got a certain prediction that is different than mine, that's good. You can tell me what you think. But like I said, like and subscribe if you want. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I will be making an NFC North video coming soon. I've got another one that is in the works that I really want to try out. But again, it's going to be very, very fun this upcoming season in a couple weeks. But gotta wait till then. That's about it. See ya.